So there is news about the Great Nicobar project, in which there is a case filed in the National Green Tribunal against the government Great Nicobar project. As we all know, Great Nicobar is a section of the Andaman Nicobar territory, which some tribal also reside in. As the headlines is 92,000 crore Great Nicobar before NGT. As usual, the project is under eco-sensitive zone, so there is some environmental concerns. Now, what are the concerns? Let's discuss. So, the Great Nicobar Island project, officially known as the Holistic Development of the Great Nicobar Island, it is a 72 to 9200 crore mega infrastructure initiative. It is implemented by the NITI Aayog and by the Andaman and Nicobar Island Integrated Development Corporation. Okay. What are the core projects components? The International Container Transshipment Terminal is here, coastal area. A deep sea port in the Galathea Bay. This is the Galathea Bay, designed to handle 40.2 million TEUs on cargoes annually. Basically, it will help to the 75% of the transshipment cost reduction, which is due to the dependence on the other ports like Singapore and Indonesia. Second, Greenfield International Airport, a dual-use facility for civilian and military purpose with a capacity of 4,000 passengers during peak hours. This will help. Again, the power plant, a 450 megawatt ampere gas and solar-based power plant to support the new city. This will be a development project. In the Greenfield Township, again a developmental project, new smart city expected to eventually house around 6,50,000 people. Massive jump from the island's current population across 8,000, which is tagged hibernation. Second, if we discuss here that the island is unique for its perennial river like Galathea, Alexandra, and Dogma. The Nicobar megapod, Nicobar long-tailed macaca, the leatherback sea turtle, the Galathea Bay is one of the world's most important nesting ground for this giant turtle. This is the leatherback sea turtle. So these are the wildlife recited there. So it makes important for the ecology. This zone make important for the ecology. The island is inhabited by the two distinct indigenous tribes of the Mongoloid origin, which is the Sompen tribe and the Nicobarese tribe, under which the Sompen tribe is particularly vulnerable tribal group of a semi-nomadic hunter-gatherers living in the interior forest. They are largely isolated and have a population of approximately 200 to 300. This is very small. So this is again a conservation concern for the government. Now let's see that recently the Supreme Court struck down the One Shakti judgment. What is the judgment? This is the original May 2025 judgment, in which a two-judge bench had originally struck down a 2017 notification and a 2021 office memorandum that allowed for retrospective environmental clearance. So basically, the project involving impacting is basically affecting the environment have required the environmental clearance. Thus, due to the 2017 notifications and 2021 office memorandum by the government, it allows the retrospective environment clearance. The project आप चालू कर सकते हैं, लेकिन उससे इन विदाउट जो environmental clearance है, लेकिन आगे चलकर आप environment clearance ले सकते हैं. So the court declared at that time in the May 2025, this permission is against the environmental law and violated the precautionary principle. This is what they stated in the May. But again in November 2025 review, a three-judge bench led by the Chief Justice of India recalled the earlier decision in 2-1 majority ruling. Majority held that a blanket ban on the retrospective clearance could lead to the demolition of massive national assets worth 20,000 crore. Some airports and major projects also other than the Great Nicobar project working side alongside with this retrospective environment clearance section. Now this is an exceptions permit. The court ruled that the retrospective clearance can be granted in exceptional case for commercial activities often accompanied by the heavy monetary penalty. This is the exceptions. Justice Ujjwal Bhuyan, which is again the 2-1 majority, the one who against the judgment, dissented, arguing that the allowing such clearance legalize illegality and undermines the foundation of environmental protection. This is what they stated against the statement. Now there is a notification which is called Environment Impact Assessment Notification 2006. This is basically the notification for the projects requiring the environmental impact assessment. Basically, notification itself mandatory this assessment for the major projects involving affecting the environment. So this project falls under the multiple entries of this notification, which is at entry 7E for the ports and harbors and entry 7A for airports. Since they are the high impact development project. Okay. So section 7E mandated this project for the EIA, environmental impact assessment, because it is fall under the category. Some parallel statutory clearances also. Because this project is located on a sensitive island, the impact assessment is integrated with the mandatory provisions of the CRS notification, which is 2011 and 2019. ठीक है, बिकॉज जो इंटरनेशनल कंटेनर ट्रांसशिपमेंट टर्मिनल इसमें हम लोग बिल्ड कर रहे हैं विच रिक्वायर्ड कोस्टल रीजन, ठीक है, और उसके लिए एक अलग नोटिफिकेशन एक सेपरेट मैंडेटरी प्रोविजन बनाया गया इन द नोटिफिकेशन CRZ नोटिफिकेशन 2011 in United. Okay, the Forest Conservation Act also mentioned here, the Wildlife Protection Act also implemented here. Sorry. these are again the necessary provisions, which is these are necessary acts which is abided. So, so this is the office memorandum in which this ICRA notification 2019 in which the CRJ clearance for permissible regulated activities, in which the rapid environment impact assessment and the comprehensive environment impact assessment. These are the both two major environment impact assessment, in which the rapid environment assessment requires 1 season data, but the comprehensive environment impact assessment requires full year data, like all 4 season data. Understood? Again, in this notification, the oceanic islands in Andaman and Nicobar Island shall be grouped as follows. The group 1 is the geographical area more than 1000 square kilometers, such as South Andaman, Middle Andaman, North Andaman, and Great Nicobar. Okay, Great Nicobar is under the group 1 of this notification. Why I mentioned this? Because the group 1 is the area in which any project, if implemented, requires a comprehensive environment impact assessment, like full year assessment. But in this particular Great Nicobar project, rapid EAI has been presented by the government, which is a loophole here in the case. Now, what is this mandatory comprehensive EI? Under the CRZ guidelines, any project of this magnitude, like the GNIP, especially in the ecological sensitive areas or unstable zones, require a comprehensive environmental impact assessment. Now, here is the unstable zone. How this? Because here I wanted to mention that Indra point is here. Yeah. In early 20s, this point is on the highland. मतलब ये इंदिरा पॉइंट जो था वो थोड़े से हाईलैंड्स पर था. But now in the current situation, ये Indra point is just 3 to 4 meters away from water. So this is the physical evidence of the submergence of the coast. So that is sufficient to stay on the stand that this is the unstable zone and require the comprehensive environmental impact assessment. But the Great Nicobar project was largely cleared based on the rapid EIS provided by the government. If the court accept that the coastline is unstable, अगर court accept कर ले कि coastline unstable है due to the evidence and the 2004 tsunami subsided, the rapid EI becomes procedurally illegal. तो जो rapid EI यानी environmental impact assessment government provide कराया है वो procedurally illegal हो जाएगा. Again, the second provision is shoreline change mapping. The CRZ notification mandates that the high eroding or unstable coast, which is this submergence coast, okay, the government must prepare shoreline change maps, which is prepared by the National Center for Sustainable Coast Management. And if it is proven that this coastline is unstable, the petitioner can argue that this particular authority failed to properly manage the permanent changes in the high tide and line post 2024. This is the high tide line. Okay, this is the concept which we will discuss further. The coast regulation clearance is technically invalid. So जो इस authority ने जो coastal regulation zone clearance दिया था वो invalid. So these are the two major strong holds with the petitioners to stay strong. Other issues which is stated in this particular case, the seismic risk is the tsunami and subsidence already discussed. That this site sits in the seismic zone 5 and it is near the fault line that caused the 2004 tsunami. Again, in this the government stated that we have done the research and itself the IIT Kanpur study showed warned the high vulnerability of the land with low probability of the mega earthquakes. Government कह रही कि मेगा earthquakes की low probability है और बाकी हम लोग थोड़े से इसमें अदर मेजर्स को भी एडमिट करेंगे. लेकिन जो नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ एडवांस स्टडीज उसने ऑल्सो ये कहा है कि ये एक अनस्टेबल आइलैंड है फॉर सच ग्रेट प्रोजेक्ट. सो अगेन देयर इज द पॉइंट IIT Kanpur also warned about the vulnerability of the land because of the liquefaction. But government admitted and assured NGT of overall measures. A mandated 30 years in conservation and monitoring program will organized by the government. That point they presented in front of the NGT. So this is some points of the issues. Again, the tribal council withdrawal its NOC in 2022. प्रोजेक्ट को लेके जो ट्राइबल काउंसिल थी उसने एक एनओसी दी थी, उसको उसने विड्रॉ कर लिया विद द एलिगेशंस ऑफ द फोर्स कंसेंट. ठीक है, तो एक टर्म दी जाती है सरेंडर सर्टिफिकेट्स. ठीक है, तो ये अगेन द नेशनल कमीशन फॉर शेड्यूल्ड ट्राइब हैज बीन फ्लैग्ड डिस्क्रिपेंसीज इन द फॉरेस्ट क्लियरेंस में भी डिस्क्रिपेंसी देखी गई विद द एनसीएसटी, द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बॉडी. अगेन इन 2021 the government denotified the Galathea Bay Wildlife Sanctuary without mitigating annihilation risk of the Shompel tribes. तो शोम्पेल ट्राइब्स जो पीवीटीजी वहां रह रहे हैं इनके रिहेबिटेशन और उनके पर्टिकुलर एक्सिस्टेंस को ये चीज चोट करती है बिकॉज इफ जस्ट denotifying the wildlife sanctuary and acquiring the land without the proper legal way, so this will directly impact these tribal areas. Again, the 10-minute reforestation, the compensatory afforestation again is a numb tool in Haryana cannot balance the tropical economy. समझो आप ग्रेट निकोबार आइलैंड पर आपने 10 million trees को cut down करा and again the forestation happened in Haryana, but how can you balance this tropical ecology maintained there in the particular region Great Nicobar? So this is basically the adaptation gap there has been founded by the government. How they balance this ecological adaptation gap? So these are the major issues behind this particular case. And from this treaty. Uh, hope you this